Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming into the keynote stage for SME 2017. You're all obviously keen on growing your businesses, which is why you're here today. And there is a lot of support available to you across the region, particularly in the Midlands and particularly in Coventry and Warwickshire. And to tell us a little bit about that, would you please welcome to the stage Mr. Craig Humphrey. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon everybody, and thank you for giving up your lunch for the graveyard slot here at the SME 2017. 1 o'clock is not the most appropriate time to be speaking to an audience that is waiting for their lunch. But my name is Craig Humphrey. I'm the Managing Director of the Coventry and Warwickshire Growth Hub. Hands up those of you that know about a growth hub, anything at all about a growth hub. About half of you. I've got a little bit of work to do then. Growth hubs were established just around about the time that the UK emerged from the worst economic crisis in many generations. And ever since then, there has been increasing attention to delivering growth and supporting that economic growth. Nationally, the focus has been on providing the investment and the levers to facilitate growth, whilst at a local level, decision makers are working hard to ensure that those levers are used to maximum effect. The consequence is that growth, its stimulation, acceleration and maintenance is at the forefront of both national, sub-regional and of course local agendas. But we know, don't we, that the growth landscape across the country is relatively uneven. The debate around growth at policy and local levels takes many different forms. And we also know that the very nature of business itself is changing. For instance, the world's largest taxi company, Uber, they don't own any taxis. The world's largest movie house, Netflix, do not own any cinemas. So we have to be aware of the reactive changing world around us if we're going to remain competitive in a global market. So can we learn anything from the areas that benefit from high growth? What are the common characteristics that drive high growth areas? And what are the implications and challenges for driving, catalysing and sustaining growth? Well, there are three main characteristics of high growth areas, and they can be segmented broadly into three spheres: economic, demographic and environmental. And in the economic sphere, the key characteristic are large local economies, and we benefit in Coventry and Warwickshire from having JLR on the doorstep, high business and employment densities, and a high percentage of knowledge-driven businesses. And interestingly, there is very little correlation between growth and business survival, and indeed, business failure is an inevitable consequence of an enterprising culture. In the demographic sphere, high growth areas have highly skilled, young and economically active workforce and diverse communities. Talent retention is a key element to growth, and resisting the draw on that skilled workforce to other attractive locations is something we need to work hard at. And of course, our universities and colleges of further education play a really important role in attracting and refreshing that talent pool, especially where the trends are towards a locally ageing workforce. In just over the next decade in Coventry and Warwickshire, we need to replace around 208,000 workers from our economy, 180,000 of which will not be lost to growth or to competition, but to retirement alone. In the environmental sphere, there needs to be strong connectivity with good access to intercity rail, motorways and airports, good access to local amenities, and there is strong connectivity across all of those interfaces with transport. There needs to be a high level of good office space as a proportion of the total commercial industrial floor space that's available. So in Coventry and Warwickshire, the Growth Hub is the primary intervention of our city deal, and our mission is to extend opportunity and growth to our business community, and in particular to the SMEs that are the lifeblood of our economy. It's a key component of our plans going forward, and it will be invested in over the lifetime of our strategic economic plan. Targeted support will help build the resilience of our businesses and create as well as safeguard jobs. And our track record so far has been impressive. We've been engaging with thousands of businesses just like yours and supporting them with their growth plans. But our ambition initially was to simplify the business support landscape for very good reason. Somebody wins an opportunity and they find the landscape crowded, confusing and supplier-led. In Coventry and Warwickshire, we had 125 publicly funded business support services available, dispensed through 61 different organisations, which is why the concept of a growth hub was initiated. And of those separate organisations that were supporting businesses, only 12% of the services that were on offer had any eligibility criteria whatsoever around high growth potential. And in fact, research tells us that companies that start, those that go on to turn over £1 million or more within the first 3 years of trading, 1.8% nationally is the figure. And that figure needs to move if we are going to become more productive. And it's something that at Coventry and Warwickshire we're passionate about trying to change. Our services, the services that our team provide, are driven by outcomes and not outputs. And our targeted support is face-to-face. It's identifying the barriers to growth and working with that company to find a solution. Some 60% of the businesses that we have worked with and engaged with have never experienced any type of business support before. So we've extended our reach across the sub-region beyond the usual suspects and delivered by account managers, as I said, face-to-face. But account managers who have worn the T-shirt, run their own businesses, have credibility and some experience. And the last point of that slide, building intelligence to shape the future of business support provision, is particularly important because a key factor in creating a stable platform for growth is to have a robust evidence base. A robust evidence base and an understanding of the locality within which you're working, which for us, the economic area is Coventry and Warwickshire. It's a natural economic area, and the account managers who work in that area understand the economy of that sub-region really well. But what it also facilitates is clarity for service providers and the leadership of the sub-region, so that there's a shared understanding of what the problem is, or indeed what the opportunity in any given location is. So a robust evidence base is crucial for underpinning any vision for a locality and the action that is then required to deliver sustainable growth. Of all the ingredients that are needed to deliver growth, quality data and evidence is right there at the top. It allows those decision makers to be incisive and make investments quickly and accurately. And also the pooling of available resources across all of those that dispense business support, be them a Federation of Small Business, banks, chambers of commerce, growth hubs. Pooling of resources within a geographical area can unlock its potential for growth. It can avoid duplication and make the needed changes to deliver that growth. So I'm delighted in Coventry and Warwickshire that we've done exactly that, and we are running in November the West Midlands' first ever business festival, a festival that is being run by business for business, and it will shine a light on all that is great and all of the great assets that we have at our disposals. The buy-in from business has been absolutely terrific, and we want to stimulate, debate and cultivate investment opportunities within the knowledge capital of the UK. With over 100 events over the course of 2 weeks, the biggest showcase ever to take place, we are confident that we'll deliver upon our ambition. And I wanted to show you a film about the Coventry and Warwickshire Growth Hub here today, but it won't load. But my message to you in the audience is very simple. Growth hubs were established to simplify the support landscape, to identify your business's barriers to growth. The growth hubs should always be the front door, the clear front door of access to the provision that is available across your sub-region, and it is plentiful. Help us to help your business grow by getting in touch with your local growth hub. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah, you'll have to speak up because there's a lot of noise.
Thank you. Is this working? Okay. Let's assume that an SME from the area needs to figure out which grant is. Okay, yeah, I had to stand. Let's assume that a business in the area needs a grant for something. What is the process that he has to follow in order to get support? I mean, does he have to come to you? Just a phone call will do? Is it a matter of, getting to an advisor and asking a question?
Yeah. Again, it's going back to the point that I made. If you've got any barrier to growth whatsoever, and if you're looking for a grant, you're looking for premises, you're looking to hire staff, in the first instance, what I would do is to be in touch with your local growth hub. We've got the Black Country Growth Hub, we've got a Greater Birmingham Solihull Growth Hub. There are 38 across the country. That should be your access point, the one-stop shop for any of the support that you need. And what the team within the Growth Hub will be able to do is to plug you in and signpost you to the right assistance, the most appropriate assistance. People talk to us quite often that they need access to finance, and access to finance is a barrier to their growth. Well, it's not actually access to finance that's the problem, it's access to the right finance at the right time. So plug into the local growth hub and they'll find you the right support that's available for you. And that support might come from one of the other organisations, a Federation of Small Business, a local authority that's dispensing grants on behalf of the sub-region. But they will hold all of that intelligence within their local growth hub.
So what other support? What other support do you provide apart from access to finance? Is it marketing? What is it exactly?
Too many to list. There are reams and reams of different areas of support. Innovation, green products, grants, as you quite rightly point out. In Coventry and Warwickshire, we have commercial property experts. If you're looking, for new premises, business rate support, whatever your barrier to growth is, I can give you an assurance. We can find you the right sort of support for your business. What I can't promise is that support will always be free of charge. Quite often it will be, because there's a lot of public support out there. Sometimes it may need to be provided by the private sector. Any more? Or am I keeping you from your lunch? No. Thank you for listening. Thank you.